Hello? Did you know that SummerSlam is this Saturday? Because I didn't. Well, I guess we need to make some SummerSlam predictions now, don't we? What's going on, everyone? I am Cody, aka your authors of wrestling, and today we're going to be talking about WWE 2021 SummerSlam. We're going to be going over the entire match card, and I'll be picking my predictions. You'll have to let me know yours down in the comments as we go along. And to be honest with you, I haven't really been keeping up with main roster WWE at this point. Most of you guys know because most of you come from my Instagram page. I don't know, man. Like it just hasn't been for me. Hasn't been satisfying. It's been more frustrating than it has anything else. So I'm kind of taking a break, but I don't want to take a break completely. I still want to make sure that I'm tuning in and watching these pay-per-views and still kind of staying in the loop. So my predictions, whew, man, they're probably not going to be that great, but we are here anyways to do it. But like I said, make sure to leave yours down in the comments because I will be going through all of them and replying. I'm very interested in seeing what you guys think about all of this. I haven't really been talking much about WWE aside from a few things here and there. So this should be interesting to say the least, to say the very least. So we're going to kick this off with the match that I believe is on the kickoff show, which is going to be Jimmy and Jey Uso defending their SmackDown Tag Team Championships against Rey and Dominik Mysterio. Now, from what I know, I think that these guys have been wrestling like every single week, right? I think they've probably had like 5 or 6 matches now, some tag teams, some variations of singles matches going on along, and I think they've kind of just traded wins back and forth. But overall, man, I think that having those SmackDown Tag Team Championships on Jimmy and Jey and having the Bloodline just have all the gold in terms of Roman Reigns having the Universal and Jimmy and Jey having the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, I think that is what's best for business at this point. And that's what I want to see continue to go down. I think that this match will be great. If it's going to be on the kickoff show, like typically the kickoff, like a lot of people get really mad about really good matches being on the kickoff show. But the truth about the kickoff show is that they give you those matches for a reason. They know that this match is going to be a banger. They know that it's going to deliver. Everyone gets to watch this match for free. So the whole thing is that they watch this match for free and they go, damn, that match was crazy. I want to see what they have in store for the rest of the show. And that's how this all works. So, like I said, I have Jimmy and Jey retaining the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. It just seems like a no-brainer to me. Just seems like a no-brainer. Now, I have no idea what the order of this pay-per-view is going to be in. So I'm just going to start from the bottom of this list on WWE's website, and I'll make my way all the way to the top. So first, they have Drew McIntyre taking on Jinder Mahal here. I don't know, at this point, this match doesn't have any sort of stipulation on it or anything like that. I have absolutely no clue what Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal are doing right now. I know that they've kind of been going back and forth a little bit on some things. I know that, Jinder destroyed Drew McIntyre's sword, and then Drew McIntyre destroyed Jinder Mahal's bike or something like that. So they're kind of going back and forth with all of this nonsense. You know, if I have to pick, I think it's Drew McIntyre that's going to come out on top from this. I'm not quite sure if they're going to give it to Jinder Mahal, if I'm being honest. Like I said, I haven't watched Raw in like 3 or 4 months now, so I'm just taking a wild guess at this. They love Drew McIntyre. He's over with everyone. He's very good at everything that he does. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick with Drew McIntyre on this one. Next up, we have Sheamus defending his United States Championship against Damian Priest, which is a really welcome change. I really like this match on the card. This seems great. It's really nice to see Damian Priest get to do something else besides feud with The Miz and John Morrison, because they've been doing that since before WrestleMania. And it's August 17th while I'm recording this. August 17th. And they've been going on back and forth before that because they had Bad Bunny involved and all that stuff. And from what I've seen on Twitter, I think that Damian Priest has still been wrestling John Morrison on Raw. So get that out of the way. Let's get out of that. Let's do Sheamus versus Sheamus versus Damian Priest. Yes, I'm really excited for this one. This should be a really good match. Despite everything else, Sheamus is really good, and Damian Priest is really good as well. Man, I'm going to take a shot in the dark here, and I'm going to go with Damian Priest winning the United States Championship. I think that it'll help him. I think that it'll help him a lot. And he's been like, I think he has a really good win-loss, if I remember correctly. He's on a big streak. He had that big moment with Bad Bunny at WrestleMania and all that stuff. I think that Damian Priest could use the United States Championship, maybe a little bit more than Sheamus could. Sheamus has been pretty good as well lately. I've really enjoyed some of the stuff that I've seen from Sheamus. He puts on really good matches and all that, but Damian Priest, man, I think it's time. I think it's time for a change. I would love to see Damian Priest get a little bit of shine here, so hopefully that is the case for that one. Next up, we have Edge taking on Seth Rollins, and honestly, this one could really go either way. Like, it's really hard to make a decision on who I think is going to win this match, because on one hand you have Edge, and I feel like, Edge has to get some wins in here and there. But then at the same time, it's like, Rollins kind of needs him as well. But both of these guys are legends, no doubt. Like Edge, of course, already a legend. Seth, I feel like he's there. Like if he retired today, he would be a WWE legend for sure. The guy's done a lot of amazing stuff. And I'm really just not sure where we're at in things. Maybe do have Edge go over on Seth Rollins. But, maybe not at the same time. It's really hard. This one is really hard for me. But, I think I'm going to go with Edge. I think I'm going to go with Edge. And I'll tell you the reason. The reason why I'm going to go with Edge is because I feel like Seth Rollins is bulletproof at this point. Like, I feel like the guy could lose 1,000 matches and it wouldn't really hurt him because he's Seth Rollins. Like, he is who he is. So, like, a win-loss record doesn't really define Seth Rollins. So I think that he can take this loss and it'll be fine. It's kind of like a similar story with Kevin Owens, in my opinion. I love Kevin Owens. I think he's one of the most talented people on the WWE roster. And even in loss, I feel like Kevin Owens looks strong. And I think that Seth Rollins could do the same thing here. So maybe Edge gets a huge win over Rollins. And then I don't know. Maybe they revisit Edge versus Roman Reigns at some point. Alternatively, you could have Seth Rollins go over Edge. And then you could have Rollins versus Reigns. And actually, you know what? Now that I've thought about that, I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins here. Seth Rollins is going to defeat Edge. And then we're going to give Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins at some point. And that is going to be great. That's going to be a really good one. So I'm really looking forward to that. Next up, we have the Raw Women's Championship being defended in a triple threat match. Oh boy. Nikki, almost superhero, Nikki A.S.H defends her championship against Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. This stuff is an absolute nightmare. I don't even really want to spend much time on this because I literally couldn't care less, which is unfortunate because I'm a huge fan. Well, I was a huge fan of Nikki Cross and everything that she was doing with Sanity. And aside of that, like, I loved the crazy Nikki Cross from NXT that was involved in that Aleister Black storyline. Like, all of that stuff was really fun to me. I really liked it. And I even really liked the dynamic between Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss when they were a tag team together and all of that. That was really enjoyable as well. But man, this superhero character, like, that stuff's just not for me. Like, it's probably more kid targeted, which is cool, but it's still not for me and I don't enjoy it. And to be honest, Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, they've been going at it for a long time now. Like, I have zero interest in anything that Rhea Ripley does with Charlotte Flair, and I have zero interest in anything that Charlotte Flair does with Rhea Ripley. They've just been going back and forth for so long, and everything just feels so meaningless. Like, it's so weird. Like, on the other night on Raw, I think that, so they had Nikki beat Charlotte, I think, and then the following week they had Rhea beat Nikki, and then Charlotte beat Rhea or something like that. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And at the end of the day, you have these three women that are all extremely talented, in my opinion, and no one really gets over. That's pretty much the core of WWE right now, is that no one is able to look strong. No one really gets over. And I'm sorry, but I have no interest in this match whatsoever. And I'm just going to say Nikki A.S.H retains. I don't like titles flip-flopping back and forth, hot potato stuff. So I'm just going to go with Nikki A.S.H retaining here. And now that I'm thinking about Oh, this is kind of messed up. But now that I'm thinking about things that people don't want to watch, it's not on this card here that I'm looking at right now. But they did announce that Alexa Bliss will be taking on Eva Marie in a match. And I can only assume that everyone is very excited to see that. And everyone is going to go crazy for that one. I think it's pretty safe to say that Alexa Bliss is going to win that one. I can't see Eva Marie winning it. I mean, unless they do some weird stuff with Dewdrop, which I still can't believe is a thing. I really don't even want to touch any of this. So I'm just going to say Alexa Bliss, and I'm just going to move on to the next one, because the magic stuff at this point is just, it's not for me. It's not for me. All right, next up, we have Bianca Belair defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against Sasha Banks. So this is a WrestleMania rematch right here. Sasha Banks just recently returned a couple of weeks ago. She teamed up with Bianca Belair and then attacked her afterwards. And here we are once again to have this match. Now, to be clear, I'm not actually sure if this match is going to happen at this point, because Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks were advertised for, I believe, 2 WWE events over the weekend, and they weren't there at either one of them due to unforeseen circumstances, if I remember correctly, if I'm understanding. So I'm not sure what the deal is between them. I'm not sure if one of them's injured, or if maybe, you know, they came in contact with someone with COVID or something, and they're just kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting. So I'm not even sure if this match is going to happen or not. But if it does, and still, Bianca Belair has to retain her SmackDown Women's Championship at this point. I don't see any reason why you would give it back to Sasha Banks whatsoever. I would have Bianca Belair go over once again. Bianca Belair is extremely talented. She seems to be very popular as well. And I don't think Sasha Banks needs it. I don't. I think she'll be fine without it. And, you know, maybe have Sasha Banks do some sort of thing where she gets moved over to Raw in some sort of draft or something that is supposed to be coming up, right, in October, I believe. So pretty soon. If that is still the case, I'm not quite sure. I haven't heard anything about it in quite a while. But yeah, have Bianca Belair go over Sasha Banks once again, kind of solidify her reign as the SmackDown Women's Champion. I think that'd be best for what's going on right now. And then just eventually have Sasha Banks go over to Raw. Raw needs all the help that it can get. They need like literally all hands on deck over there for some help, because it's not going very, very well. Now, the match that everyone knows is probably only going to be 2 minutes long, if even. We have Bobby Lashley defending his WWE Championship against the one, the only Goldberg. That's right, baby. That is right. Good old Billy Boy Goldberg is back at it once again with another WWE Championship opportunity. I'm just thinking, I can't believe that this guy did an interview saying that he is looking forward to putting over the young people, or that's what he's in this business for, is to put over the young people, because he was so hot in wrestling and just kind of exited it out. He didn't have that opportunity. That's a topic. That's a discussion for a whole other day. But here we are, Bobby Lashley defending his WWE Championship against Goldberg. I mean, we don't really need to say much about this, right? Like, it's going to be really short. Probably, if I had to guess, this match will be between 2 to 3 minutes long. It'll probably be very intense. Like, I would expect maybe have Gold or something like that attack Bobby Lashley before the match. They did this with his last match, I think, right? Against Drew McIntyre. So it was very intense. It was very fast. There was a lot of stuff going on. And I think that's probably the best approach that you could take to something like this, with someone who only has it in them to go for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And it's fine, I guess. I mean, I don't really know what other challengers there are for Bobby Lashley and the WWE Championship. So as long as we only have to see Gold 2 times a year, I guess I can survive it. But yeah, I got Bobby Lashley 100%. He is going to be retaining his WWE Championship. And now we move on to the main event match that everyone is going to be very excited for. This is probably what most people are going to be tuning in to watch, and that is Roman Reigns defending his Universal Championship against the one and only John Cena. This should be a really good match. And something that I really like about John Cena's return is that from the day that he's been back, he's been wrestling. So he's been wrestling on Raw, he's been wrestling on SmackDown, and of course you don't see it on TV, but he's wrestling in the dark matches for Raw and SmackDown, which is great. So he's not going to be rusty or anything. He's pretty much, from what I understand, he's teaming up with the Mysterios, and they're doing a John Cena and Mysterios versus the Bloodline on SmackDown show. So there shouldn't be any rust. They should have a lot of really good chemistry, and of course everything from the past as well, but it should be fresh and everything should be there. So I'm really looking forward to this match. This is really, Reigns and Cena and Edge and Seth Rollins are the two matches that really stand out about this card. I'm really looking forward to both of those. This one, I'm sorry to say, but this one is obvious as well. I think everyone knows that as well. You have to let me know down in the comments, but I think this one's pretty obvious as well. Roman Reigns is 100% retaining against John Cena. And I honestly don't know if there's even anyone in sight who could dethrone Roman Reigns at this point. Like, I have no idea. Maybe it could be Finn Balor. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. That's probably who's going to be the next challenger for the title, is probably Finn Balor, since this whole thing was supposed to be about Roman Reigns declining John Cena, his match, and Finn stepping up to the plate to get it. So he's probably going to be next. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I don't see him dethroning Roman Reigns whatsoever. I don't see that happening. I don't know who it could be, to be honest, but I will say that I don't think it should be anytime soon either way. Roman Reigns is killing it right now. He is the best thing about WWE programming easily. There's not a single person that's even close to doing what he's doing in WWE right now, and it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like, if you would have told me a couple years ago that I would be dying to see more of Roman Reigns, I would have called you crazy. There's no way I would have believed it. But here we are. If I had to guess one more match that could get added to this card, I would say that it might be Baron Corbin and Big E. I saw a clip online of Baron Corbin stealing the Money in the Bank briefcase from Big E, maybe in hopes of selling it for money or cashing it in for something, or maybe trying to sell it back to Big E. I'm not necessarily sure what the case is, but I could certainly see them adding that match somewhere in on SummerSlam on Friday. So if that does get added, of course, I'm gonna say that Big E wins that match and gets his Money in the Bank briefcase back. And you know, I'll just add in while we're on the subject, I think what Baron Corbin is doing is great right now. It's very enjoyable. It's pretty different, and I think a lot of people just kind of find it funny that he's struggling. And you know, he fills the role really good with the shirt that hasn't been changed in forever, and the hair, and like he's not keeping up with himself and all of that stuff. I think it's great. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of that, and more importantly, I'm really interested in seeing how he goes from this sad, depressed Corbin to happy Corbin, because they trademarked happy Corbin a while ago. So I don't know if maybe it has something to do with him stealing this Money in the Bank briefcase. Maybe. I hope that it's not him winning the King of the Ring tournament that's going to be coming up in the next couple of months. I hope that's not the case, but at this time and this moment, I am enjoying the character, and I really look forward to seeing the clips of Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin on Twitter. I find them funny and enjoyable, but not enough to tune in, unfortunately, not at this point. But yeah, that's going to do it for my SummerSlam 2021 predictions. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really am trying to get all of this stuff set up here so that I can make more videos here. I got a nice little stand for my camera, and everything is shaping up. Everything is shaping up. So there will be an NXT TakeOver 36 video as well. And I think we're going to do post shows for Rampage, SummerSlam, and NXT TakeOver 36 as well. I'm even considering doing watch alongs for all three of those, because it's a huge weekend. There's a lot of exciting stuff going on this weekend. It's jam-packed. We have CM Punk's return on Rampage, SummerSlam, and TakeOver 36. Lots and lots of stuff to pay attention to. So if you made it this far, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you. If you liked it, please make sure to hit that like button down below, which is probably somewhere over here. And also subscribe if you enjoyed it. I would greatly appreciate it. And don't forget, please let me know your predictions down in the comments, because I will be going through them. I want to see what you guys think. I'm out of touch, so I want to see how close I am. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next video for NXT TakeOver predictions. Peace.